when you have a platform, you don't have the room or the space to be vulnerable in a capacity of taking time off. I do my best to try to boost up my collective by being my best self, by showing up as often as I do. And, you know, I had taken 2.5 months off because I hadn't taken time off from social media in 5 years. And I felt that I had put down enough of my business, meaning I shut down the website. I stopped. I just took a pause. I just recently did a conversation about there's something of the pause. I can't even remember what I said. But the fact is, if you are an influencer of any capacity, regardless of what the size of your following may be, because I think that people don't realize how many people have a network outside of social media just as much as they have one on the social media streets. I've met more people from the social media streets in the last 3-4 years than I have in person of the people that I've known for X time, and I think that when you are the leader of your community, you take for granted the people that do support you from a distance. And it's dangerous and beautiful at the same time, you know, because you just don't know who these people are that may be following you. People catfish, that is a real thing, so you could be talking to somebody for several years and that picture or that energy that they are providing you could just be fake. And now with the luxury of social platforms such as Chat GPT, it could be a whole nother shit show. But my point in saying this is, I had just went through a very tumultuous situation in the last 2 weeks, and this is the first time that I feel like I'm kind of getting off of that hiatus high of the PTSD from the incident. Again, I'll talk about that at another time. But it's taken me some time to kind of get back in my own mindset, and the fact that I had just came back on social media 2 weeks prior to the incident, and now I felt like I didn't really have time to kind of pause. But I also gave myself grace. Like, okay, yes, I have a commitment to my following, to my community, but at the same time, if I need to cry right now, I'm gonna fucking do that. I was thankful that I could call some people who I needed to, vent, speak, whatever it was that I needed to do. I was able to do that, and I'm thankful for that, because it does take a village. That term, it takes a village to raise up a child. And I genuinely believe that it takes up a village to raise up an entrepreneur because it genuinely does. There's a shorty that was commenting recently, just putting out content, creating dialogue. And it was like, would you start a business with everybody in your social circle? And I said, absolutely the fuck not. Because everybody doesn't have that tenacity, that gusto, that hustle, that get up and go when the business is going through the ebbs and flows. They want to quit. If the money not coming in right away, do they want to put up their own resources? Everybody doesn't have that bop, and that's really what separates the leaders from them. And there's nothing wrong with that. There was a girl back in the day who said, everybody can't be an entrepreneur. And I said, you're right, everybody can't be, but everybody should be, because at the end of the day, she was like, some people have to be consumers. And I'm like, we're all consumers. That's never going to change. I'm still going to have a need for something. It doesn't matter what it is. We're all consumers. This is just the society that we live in. But we're going to get to a time and a place where we can no longer be consumers 365. We're going to have to learn how to be barters. And I think when I had my press pass, you know, I talked to a lot of small businesses about how to barter with their peers, because everything is not going to be about money, because everybody's not going to have it. So you need to know how to be able to barter with your peers. One thing that I do is right now, for instance, I don't know how many rabbit holes y'all be going down, but my shit's be deep. And this is usually what I do on Saturdays. You know, it's still a harvest time for me. I'm taking time away from the internet, from my phone. It's a time for me. I do my nails. I have like a whole entire nail kit. My nails have grown so long just in the last 3 months that I've been finessing them and catering to them every single week. And I love it. It gives me time to rest and relax. It takes like 2 and 3 hours because I'm really using these, nail salon tools that I still don't really know how to use. But hey, my nails are growing. And, lately I have been going down a rabbit hole of holidays. So I had did that during Christmas time, the origins of Christmas. This past weekend I did The Wizard of Oz and Monopoly, because I used to love The Wizard of Oz as a kid. Still do. I haven't watched it though, probably in like a decade, truth be told. And Monopoly, because I play it every day now on my phone. Kick Tyrese's ass for that. And my mom had got me a handheld game when I was a kid. My mom used to play a lot of board games with me. Scrabble, she used to kick my ass in Scrabble and Boggle. And, playing Monopoly. We used to play Monopoly a lot. And then she bought me the handheld game because she started working more, so I was still able to play the game. And I actually had learned a lot of the real rules of Monopoly. But just understanding that we are going into like the haves and the have-nots, you kind of have to understand the way history flows and how it tends to repeat itself. So a lot of times I kind of get stuck in the momentum of looking 100 years back at where America was. I'm big in stocks and trading and things like that. Shoot, I'm in a trade right now. Shit, I forgot. Dang, that was 10 minutes ago. Okay, we Gucci and we in the green. Yes. Okay. It's 10:30 at night, okay? And Sydney's session is up, so, you got to pay attention. But anyway, paying attention to the stock markets, thinking about, what happened in the 1920s. Spanish flu was popular then. Thinking about the parallels that happened to us during that same time period, we were experiencing COVID-19. So it's like, you kind of have to start thinking about, all of these things, because in all reality, history repeats itself. So I'm paying attention to what's happening then, so right now we're in a new year, 2025, a new Gregorian year, I'll say that. And if we are in 2025, what was the world like in 1925? Now, just going off of, I had did this study a couple of months ago. I want to say like around the summertime. And this is just me going off the top. So during that time, after the Spanish flu, people were kind of starting to get their momentum back, starting to get their hustle back. There were new things introduced to the public. There was a time when there were items that were only exclusive for an elite class. And then all of a sudden they were like, yo, we need to get our money up. So let's now extend this to the open public, such as the car situation, right? Everybody used to take public trans, and then all of a sudden now everybody has access to having a car. Same thing like the cell phone. People would only have access. This is in the 80s and 90s, early 90s, right? I don't know if cell phones was in the 70s, but I knew people who had car phones. Them shits was huge. It looked like those big old school camcorder bags that you used to have to carry with you just to record some shit. So people would have mobile phones in their cars, and you definitely was probably the local hustler or sometime some big time Wall Street dude if you had a mobile phone back then. And then, I didn't even realize this till the other day. I was talking to my homeboy and I'm like, damn, we really contributed to the detriment of society by selling cell phones. I worked for Verizon back in 2008, right before the iPhone was even introduced to the public. When Blackberries were just introduced to the public, Palm Pilots and those types of things I had a Palm Pilot, and I only had a Palm Pilot because I got a free phone by working with Verizon then. So I'm thinking about things like that. So back to the 2019-25 era, this was a time when things started looking on the up and up for people. They kind of needed to force feed the public with something to kind of give them an ego boost or something to kind of give them a splash, a dopamine. And we all know what happened in the 30s with the Great Depression, right? So when you're considering these things, considering where we're headed as an economy, continue to go back into the history books, because America prides themselves on history repeating itself. And if you know people who continue to rinse and repeat, they rinse and repeat because it has been working for them. So the only way that you can correct a problem or a system is if you get off of that system. So I always say, like, America has some of the most law-abiding citizens I have ever seen in my entire life. And it's true. People don't, what's the word I'm looking for? People don't revolt. People don't get on the streets and, unite together like they do in other countries. Although they have a constitution here that allegedly allows you to have freedom of speech or your rights or this and that. And then there's a militia, and then there's tankers, and then there's camps, and, all this shit, because all that shit is not real. I dare you say two things. I was watching Queen and Slim a couple weeks ago, and just thinking about even that movie, they was like, yo, if you even come this far, I'm gonna have to shoot you, and it's like, are you that gully? As Josh just recently said on Market Mondays. Yo, are you that gully? Are you gonna take that extra step? In the words of Nipsey Hussle, I would rather shoot before I run, and it's like, what are you going to do? How do you defend yourself against the wiles of America? Because they're 100% always going to rinse and repeat. So, if we're approaching that time where the dopamine is about to get splashed, you have to think of the dopamine being something related to AI or technology, because it's going to be too expensive to import tech into the United States. So that's where my philosophy on Tesla's owner comes into play, because right now I'm hearing that he's technically not even supposed to be in the country because he came in on a student visa and never went to school, but yet he got all this money. So I'm like, if that's the case, do they take back all his resources? Do they shut down companies? How does that even work out? But the fact remains is that you got Starlink all over the place. I just got an email from United and I got an email from T-Mobile, all inviting me to beta testing or to try out these new programs that they are about to implement with this new administration, the heat is going off because it's 4 degrees out here. And thinking about what that does for us and what that will do for us, think about how they are clearly aware that we've utilized and abused Mother Earth's natural resources. So now they have to go out of space in order to maintain those resources. And he believes that we should all go to Mars, and that's only for the wealthy, right? I was just watching Elsbeth on Paramount or something like that. And Elsbeth, one of her clients were a bunch of billionaires who were learning how to survive out in space. And these are things that are real. They put everything in TV. Didn't Strahan go up to space or something like that? Like, these people probably have colonies already over there, and bin had colonies over there. Think about the movie The Martian. I think it was the flip to Interstellar, and he was literally growing. I want to watch it again because I can't remember all the vegetation that he was growing, but I remember he had potatoes, and he had an entire greenhouse in his survival camp. He was able to go to sleep in an incubation system. It's giving big MJ vibes for years until somebody came and rescued him, right? So all of these things you have to consider. This is the age of information, and trust me, I am over podcasts. I am over too much information being poured in, but you also have to know that there are really some people. I heard a reading today, and this chick was like, you tend to thrive in the spiritual realm, and I'm like, I genuinely feel like this. Like, I don't feel like my surroundings are real. There's going to be a point where people are content in their 4 walls and spaces, and I think that's what they're prepping people for. They don't want people to leave their homes. They want people to be stuck on their cell phones and getting Neuralinks. If you get a fucking Neuralink, bro, just unfollow me, unfriend me. Because the way I was coming for y'all during the pandemic, I'm not coming for y'all. Like, I'm just going to call y'all fucking stupid. Like, don't do it to yourself. That's the only warning I'm giving you. Because if you think you already got, first, all right, I can't even do it. I'm not going to do it. I already said I wasn't helping nobody this year. Because y'all going, first of all, mad people owe me an apology. Like, mad people owe me an apology. I don't delete text messages from certain people because y'all owe me an apology. Like, from them Jabberwockies, y'all owe me an apology, bro. Because when y'all start falling out, like these birds that I be seeing on my walks, you know how many dead birds I seen on my walks this summer, bro? I was taking pictures after a while because I'm like, nah, this is not fucking normal. Like, just random. Something not right. And y'all all be thinking that y'all just want to continue to dilly-dally down these roads. Y'all not making it to 2030, bro. Like, y'all not. Many people are not. Y'all be laughing at me because I be walking around with a fucking helmet on. We gonna need helmets, bro. Like, you're gonna need a whole ass oxygen something. Like, the radiation levels are gonna be far too high for people to survive and thrive on this planet. I was just watching the sun thing today with Daily Events Worldwide and thinking about Kali Amin Ra on IG. He and this sun dude have been talking about the sun for years. There was a white guy and a black guy. You know, I gotta follow both sides to see if they both talking about that same thing, because, you know, if you want to talk about the white tribes, you know, there's 12 tribes of Israel, right? Allegedly. If there are genuinely 12 tribes, that is different faces, different ethnicities and races of people. There are still chosen people amongst different races. Black people just aren't the chosen. Let's just be honest. You know, there are 12 tribes of people. they're they're different people, different avatars. We're operating on soul level, not that external figure. I'm still not gonna get with anybody who got some pink meat. That shit is out. Don't get me wrong. I'm sticking with my tribe. I am from the tribe of Benjamin. So it's like, if that is my tribe, then I need to make sure that I can align and lock arms. But please believe that Schumann resonance is gonna vibrate based upon the energy that the 12 tribes are putting together as a collective to get to that 144,000 hertz. Do you understand? This is why I say I'm always operating in the spiritual. Like, my mind is always on another level. The information that I'm taking in on another level. I sleep to solfeggio frequencies for 6 years now, bro. Like, every single night. And on the nights that I don't play it, I wake up looking like a raccoon. Like, these are not false tales and fabrications. Think about it. If I have solfeggio frequencies pouring into my body for 6 years, and let's call them 2 weeks that I had not have in 6 years, what frequency do you really think that I'm operating? You really think that I'm still a 3D human? You really think that? Y'all really think that? You know, and there's some OGs who have been awakened for eons and long time now, right? And I'm like, all right, I got August 2017 under my belt. What y'all trying to say? You know, that's still 7 bones in me. You know, like, I'm still operating on a high frequency. I've been chosen from since I was a kid. These people know. These alleged people of my family will tell you. I've been knowing stuff long time. I'm just now operating in such a high frequency that I don't care if people know I can read their mind. I don't care if people know I can read their energy. I already know what you're thinking by your energy and your body language. I'm just waiting for you to open your mouth and decide if you're going to tell the truth or lie. And if you lie, I'm just going to look at you like, okay, cool. They chose to lie. This shit is stupid. Now I got to really operate and move and shake a different kind of way because you crazy for lying to an oracle and a whole ass medium. Like, please don't waste my time. Please don't waste my time. Hey, please don't waste my time. Please don't waste my time. Hey, please don't waste my time. Hey, please don't waste my time. Hey, please don't waste my time. We are not the same. I am a Martian. There's going to be more and more people looking for a higher power. And this is where the 144 will truly rise up. Y'all not going to understand how people are just going to start coming online with their superpowers, and then y'all all going to be looking to the people who y'all clowned for how many years? How many years have I been shadow banned? This motherfucker, the owner of Facebook, gonna sit here and have the audacity to go on Threads talking about we're gonna go back to freedom of speech. Y'all know how much money y'all owe me, my guy? Like, as soon as I touched down on California soil, said June 2019, my following on my stories went from 100. I had like 50 to 18 people on a daily basis on my story. And then as soon as I touched down in Cali, that shit shot up to 900 on a consistent basis. I was in Cali until November that same exact year, 2019. As soon as I got back to Jersey, I don't know what happened. That shit was back down to 50 to 19, and it never, ever recovered. Never. Still to this day. None of my videos, like my following, like if I could genuinely prove that they did something to my algorithm, even Rizza Islam, he will tell you, my cousin calls me baby Rizza because she knows this shit. Like, all of a sudden my shit just went to straight trash. Bro, they owe me money. They owe me a lot of money. If somebody got a class action and want me to get on with it, I'm with it. because I have been silent since September 2019. Like, so I'm one of those people that people gonna come back around. They gonna lift up them fucking parameters. I'm almost certain it has something to do with this new administration coming in, because think about it. During Joe Biden administration, oh man, y'all woke me up right now. During his administration, they literally had fact checkers in place, and the fact checkers were the people who owned shares in these corporations who have a say so. Think about it. If you have a politician or a show that you want to put out on the news, or if you have a news segment that want to come out on any of these popular news stations or whatever, if you want to talk about a story, all you got to do is pay somebody, right? What do you think is happening with politicians? All you got to do is pay somebody. But a lot of these politicians and members of Congress and Senate, they control the world by putting their resources in certain companies that are traded publicly on the stock market. So with that being said, a lot of these fact checkers were like people related to like the Gates and things like that. You know, random ass people who fucking live in Wisconsin and Iowa controlling the facts of the internet in the United States. Who said their facts were accurate? Why can't my shit be downloads from the Most High? You know, that certain shit that they be opening up that they trying to duplicate. No, I don't have to create a $billion-something machine to put shit on wax and to know that this is real. Obasi said, "You can't truth from facts. 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 We say facts all the time. But my channeling is truth. You cannot duplicate, replicate ever the Most High. Never. Ever." Now I sound like Jay-Z. Like, it's just not happening. It's just not possible. Do you understand? So if these people are now removing the fact checkers, because those are the same people who were like, okay, this person keeps continuously talking about this. These people keep giving these types of keywords. Let's just ban the whole fucking thing. There is a red list. Do you know how many people I know in my social circle who are on targeted lists, including myself? I know how much power I have. I know how much sauce I got. I know that I'm spitting truth, and they know that I'm spitting truth. But when you are speaking the opposite of the agenda, what you think they gonna do? If I didn't leave the house, they probably would have been gone me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? There's about to be a certain demographic of individuals who are about to have that Wheel of Fortune moment, and they about to be the ones on top, because people are desperate for knowledge. People are desperate to free themselves from a thing called society. You got the red pill and the blue pill. We taking the red pill all day, my guy. Too many people are still stuck in the blue. They really believe that the sky is blue. That shit been red. Been. Kachina vibes. Look into the Hopi prophecies. Y'all just accepting whatever they put on y'all screens as status quo. And this shit been wrong. Y'all not even doing the research. Y'all don't even have the attention span to sit and listen to an hour video, let alone a 20-minute video. I think it's crazy how I get more views on a long form video than I do on a short form video, because I'm catering to y'all 3-second attention spans. But there are some of y'all who get through to like 17 minutes when I put up a 40-minute joint. Y'all are the ones who are hungry for more. I've been spitting this shit for a long time. Long time. Next time, listen to your elders, bro. If I had a belt, I would whoop all y'all asses. Because y'all don't listen. Hard head make a soft behind. My pops used to say that shit to us all the time. Coming knocking on my door like, yo, it's time. It's go time. I was about to spit some bars for y'all. Let me chill. I was really about to do it. Yeah, I didn't even know I had it in me. If I come out with an album, don't say it wasn't me. Because it's definitely always going to be me. QGH vibes. Shout out to my little niece. She turned 1, God willing, in a couple of hours. You know, I'm not really into glorifying too much. You know, I grew up in a household where we never celebrated pagan holidays, nor did we glorify since John the Baptist was beheaded on somebody's birthday. That went over so many people's heads, pun intended. You know, sometimes we don't recognize that those people who grew up with the Bible and the Quran, we hated that. We hated being in the meetings and prayers and Bible studies and study this and read this, go knock on these doors and teach people the word, give out this tract. You know, I come from JW. We was outside in real life. You know, I was that person to be in these institutions 3 times a week. That shit was exhausting, my guy. And then I was going back to the suburbs with my mom's, and I had to be the quote unquote rich black kid when I wasn't rich at all, but because I was that poor black kid who had the high end brands. Like, how do I have Monogram, Fendi, and Gucci, and Louis in high school? You know, whatever. And because my mom was dating somebody who had money, they thought that I had money too. And maybe we did. I don't know. You know, I was 22, 23 years old, making 50 grand a year, and I thought I was poor. Or cards up, you know, I had an abortion because I thought I was poor, when I didn't even realize that I was making more than the average household income by myself. But when you start learning numbers and you start learning facts, when I started saving my money, I started dating this guy who taught me, you know, cash rules everything around me. I come from the woo, of course. I know cash rules everything around me, so I always use cash. But when I realized that investing was how I made my money grow, it was game time. Savings accounts, stock accounts, 401ks. Like, I drove a Mercedes because my car note was $350. Like, who you know drove a Mercedes for $350 a month? Me. You know, I just basically knew the importance of money because I was working in banks, you know, at a young age. And I just always knew that that was how the world goes round. So me studying the 1920s into the 30s helps me understand where we are present day. Because once again, if they are going to continue to rinse and repeat and use a different blueprint, what you know. And think about this. Donald Trump is trying to get back the Panama Canal, and he's trying to get back the Gulf of Mexico. There's a reason for that. There is a reason for that. He knows something that y'all don't know, and I'm going to find out. Don't worry. That shit going to come to me right in a dream. There's something in the water that they want access to. That's minimum surface level concept. But you start thinking about why the United States is deciding to take back land from centuries ago. It's because they haven't conquered anything. And think about the Panama Canal right now, right? And think about the Suez Canal. Peep this, all right? This is the logistics, Nadia, coming out. This is the big boss, top shata, manager, you know, director, that big boss person, warehouse person coming out. Anytime a container ship passes through the Suez Canal or the Panama Canal, they get paid. And guess what? They're not getting paid for the whole vessel. Back in the day, you could fit 500 containers, 40-foot containers on a vessel, cargo ship, back in like 2015. Because China is building these huge ass vessels, it's probably double or triple that right now, without a fail. But just think about it. Every single bill of lading for every single container has a fee. And depending on where you're going, if you are passing through the Suez Canal or the Panama Canal or any other channel, that fee is itemized on your bill of lading. They just want money. So if you take back these things, if you recognize that people are now going to Latin America, and this is going back to 2019, mind you, these things have been in the works. So going back to 2019, I was telling my clients, I won't say what company, I signed an NDA, so I can't. We were trying to work with Latin America more than we were overseas, China, Southeast Asia, Far East. I'll just say Far East, more than that to produce our product. Latin America was so much more closer. And it was just a little bit more paperwork and probably a language issue. But truth be told, it wasn't like it was going to be a complete detriment to anything. And if anything, we can now get some cargo across the water in 5 to 10 days straight from Miami, as opposed to 15 to 45 days, depending on where you're going, internationally. So I say that all to say, back then, we were focused on Latin America and Mexico for cargo and for manufacturing. And now that people are using Far East and no longer and turning their back against China, and now that people are using Latin America more, what do you think they're trying to do? They're trying to get that money. So if minimum these container ships have 500 containers on a vessel ship, and let's call it, they're charging it by weight, right? Let's call it a minimum, a Suez Canal fee. Let me see if I could look it up for y'all right quick, actually. The average Suez Canal, I want to say, let's call it $5. It's probably way more than that, but y'all can have fun with that, right? So if we charge in $5 for every bill of lading, that's $2,500 for one vessel ship to come through. That's not including anything else. That's just the minimum dollar amount for a vessel ship to come through. Think about how many vessels are on the water right now. That shit add up. So him increasing those tariffs, right? Mexico, China, specifically. Hello? That's just the genesis of it. That's just the basis of it. Y'all gotta wake up. This shit been happening. Marijuana about to be legal. This is why I'm like, this whole year, I can't even really be chiefing like that. Like, if I'm smoking any herb, that shit come from the motherland, you hear me, dog. If it ain't Cali, like I'm in Cali and I walked into a dispensary and got it, I don't want it. If that shit ain't from Jamaica, I don't want it. Like, those are the only two places I'm gonna smoke, like, high key, if I even want to. Because I did a podcast back sometime last year with Vocal Dialect on the difference between ganja and marijuana, because there is a difference. You have to understand marijuana has way too many pesticides, because that's what I'm going to call them, way too much chemicals on them, sprayed. You're going to be addicted to the chemicals and not anything else. And this is why people be like, oh, you could get addicted to marijuana. You're right, you really can. But you can't get addicted to ganja. You can't. People don't even know that they probably have fentanyl addictions because of the marijuana that they smoke right now. And y'all be loving these strains and they all the same shit. I'll never forget this one guy was like, street pharmacist. Oh, I got that da 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 for you. And I'm like, is it sativa, hybrid, indica? It's da 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 da. Said the name again. My guy, how are you the street pharmacist and you know your product? I'm cool on you though. I'ma just wait till I go back to Cali. Like, what? What? It's just like y'all people with these bracelets selling me beads and shit. Like, that's why I stopped buying beads and crystals. Because if I can't go buy them from the source, which was also my Cali plug, like, if I can't buy them and y'all don't even know what they mean, nah. I'm cool on all this shit, bro. Like, y'all just doing team too much. And it's concerning me. Like, I'm genuinely concerned. Because, again, y'all not doing the research. That 3-second attention span really got y'all mind crazy. But y'all will watch that lady TikTok about how her husband was a fake, or I don't know. There was like 5,000 clips. It was like 2 hours worth of clips, and every clip was like 2-3 minutes long, and y'all watched all of them shits. But y'all can't get through a quick 20-minute video about somebody trying to tell you how to elevate your soul, but y'all still want to be stuck in some low vibrational bullshit. That lady can't help you. That's her own fucking stupidity. You telling me you couldn't see no red flags while they was thrown at you? Don't get me wrong. I've definitely been stigmatized in my lifetime. But I also know that if I'm settling down with the person, there was something in that individual that we both connected, because I've never been a dumb one. You understand? There was a reason why my soul latched on with their soul, and 9 times out of 10, we had a past life something. And I needed to close out some toxic karmic cycles. So figure out if you are still looping karmic cycles from the 1920s. Because if you don't even know if this is your first life or your last life or the 15th life, either way, you gotta get the lessons right. Because if you're not learning the lessons, you're gonna be on this shit looping once again, and you're gonna be by yourself. And this is how mothers and daughters be having these tumultuous relationships. I still blame Eve. I don't care what nobody say. I was thinking about this, people be talking about how the Bible is fake and these shits is all made up. There's some validity to this book. I don't care what y'all be saying. I don't care. Sure, they used it against us, but y'all need to learn how to chew the bones sometimes, too. Y'all always say, chew the meat, spit the bones out. Nah. Y'all gotta chew everything. The bone marrow be giving you some good things, man. They sell that shit in steakhouses right now. I've had it. It's fire. On top of my steak, those dripping, baby, top notch. Sometimes you have to learn how to eat, period. So if the Bible says that Eve was cursed, her womb was cursed, did you really think that anytime a woman has a woman child that's going to be a beautiful relationship? You got 2 cursed individuals trying to be friends. But you'll always see a mother love her son. Whew. Y'all get that on the way home, as Pastor Demola used to say. Do you hear what I'm saying? Let me say it again. A lot of times, a lot of women will not get along with their daughters because they are 2 cursed womb individuals. And that is why the mother and the son's relationship is always better. But it takes 2 healed individuals from the wombs from a man that's going to help you awaken to the energy of why y'all need to heal those relationships. Listen, I had to reparent myself and reparent myself and reparent myself. This lock journey this time around, baby, I thought I was going to G code this shit. I ain't even know it. I was like, ain't no way I could have another spiritual awakening. Oh, baby, you can have them shits as many times as God says you can. I really thought I was going to thug this shit out. And I did for a long time. Don't get me wrong. And then one day I was like, I think I'm just going to rest. Like, I was literally still getting up early morning. Like, I had a job. Still going to the coffee shop, working on my computer like I had a job. Like, completely disciplined all the way up until like mid-September. And I had stopped working mid-June. So for a whole 90 days, I was still in that corporate loop of working, waking up, being responsible, as I like to call it. And then I was like, I'm going to fucking sleep. And you feel guilty because you feel like a lazy monster. Think about your parents. They wouldn't even let your ass sleep in on a Saturday. Get up and clean this room. Get up and wash these dishes. Get up and clean this bathroom. And if your mother didn't tell you to clean as a kid, y'all fucking dirty. If you didn't hear music waking you up at the crack, like, yo, ain't no way she's blasting music at 9 a.m. And that should be hardcore Mary J. Blige. And she's singing like she knew how to sing. And then don't let a reggae beat come on. Oh my God. Maybe that was just my house. But you could not sleep. On the weekends, you could not sleep. Don't let there be a science project. Don't let there be a book report. You just could not rest. So I felt guilty to rest. Like, and then I stopped trading. Ooh, baby. I think mid-October, I lost like 11 bands. And I was like, nah, this is too... You can't be losing money and you ain't got no fucking job. And you shut down all of your businesses. You have no other revenue coming in. And you just lost $11,000 right before my birthday. It was literally the week before my birthday. I was in Atlanta. Never forget it. I was like, oh no, we're not going outside for the rest of the year. Like, we're not going outside for the rest of the year. I just closed the laptop and walked away from that bitch until like 3 weeks ago. Literally. Like, it, when I went back on Instagram was when I decided to open my laptop again. My spiritual awakening for the umpteenth time was heavy as hell. I felt so many emotions. I felt like I was adopted. I felt like my identity was stolen. I feel like I'm not who they say I am. I already know I'm not from here, meaning this planet, but still. It was just layers upon layers upon layers of shedding and introspection. And, you know, a lot of people called my line and a lot of people got the cold shoulder, and it was nothing personal, but it was just inner business. I cannot be everybody's friend when I'm in the middle of a spiritual awakening, my guy. That shit is out. You have to know who's for you and who is against you. And I recognize who was for me and who was against me during that time. And I'm so thankful, ever so thankful, because you won't catch me slipping this year. Because I tell you once, and I tell all my spiritual practitioners out here, those who are awakening, enlightening, and leading communities for real, y'all gotta up your spiritual practices. You know, if we really are in hermit modes, you gotta know when it's time to pop out. People will need to see us more. You will need to be a little bit more social. You know, all last year, it was practice. I was really out here in these streets. Like, I'll never forget Invest Fest weekend. I flew in. I always fly in a couple of days before the event. And there was parties immediately. Social mixers immediately. I literally got off the plane and went right into a VIP event. Like, the only thing I could do was brush my teeth and put my bag down, and that was it. And next thing you know, the ride was outside. I was like, oh, this shit happening. Cool, let's go, let's boogie. I was outside till 5 a.m. Like almost a 24-hour day. And then anybody who's been to Invest Fest know that shit is a art project and like college and in a weekend. It's a beautiful thing, but you gotta be prepared to be outside in these streets. If you really about the Most High's business, you would know that you need to be out in these streets. People need to see you more. People need to hear you more. You cannot be a telephone thug your whole life. You really can't. You really got to step up and step up to the call. And do not be afraid. There is nothing to be afraid of when you have the Most High's energy surrounding you. When you got your ancestors left, right, front, and center, diagonally, peripheral, visionally, however you want to call it. When I can't see, they got the eyes behind my head, my guy. I dare you. Oh, they try to catch me slipping this year, baby. Shit won't happen twice. Cutting throat season, stepping on neck seasons. Won't happen twice. I'm guided to say a prayer. Father God, Mother Earth, Universe, Source, and them, whoever them may be to you. I am praying for my collective on this day, evening, afternoon, whomever may be listening to this. If you've gotten this far in this reading, know that this message was for you. Whatever it is that this person under the sound of my voice is feeling, may you please heal them. If it is a season of weariness, may you please heal them. If there's a season of victory, may you please give them more victory and please protect them from any weariness or hardships that may be on the horizon, because we know that you are truly the victor in all of the victory and you go before us, and we always know that there are truly divine blessings in any season. I've said it once and I'll say it again. There is always a rainbow in our clouds. And I do mean this for my entire community. Know that what is for you cannot be taken away from you. If God has called you to a season to rise up such as this, yes, we may see all the things that are happening around us. Yes, we see Hollywood is burning. Yes, we see that the Mecca is underwater. Yes, we see that there are deserts turning green. Yes, Africa is splitting in two. Yes, these miracles and things are happening. Yes, they are pulling giant-sized crystals out of the crystal grid. Yes, we know that your book that may not have been completed or shown for real people like us, we know that there are some things in there that are true, because we know that you, the Most High, are true. May all of your people who have this Jabberwocky rise up and recognize that yes, they made a major mistake, but it is well with them. They are doing their best to redeem themselves from the mark of the beast. They are doing their best to free themselves from Babylon, because they know that it is crumbling rapidly around them. I ask that you send a hedge of protection around all of your people during this time, because we know that we are entering a battlefield, for we are already here. Regardless of what is happening on Babylon's land, we know that it is temporary, because the land belongs to you. And if we are your children, we know that we will soon walk on a paradise. Lord, I ask that you continues to show us who you truly are. Continue to purify our souls. Allow us to rise up and take the throne as we sit next to you. Ooh. Thanks be to God. We ask that you continue to pour love into us and allow our soul family to be guided toward us and us towards them. May you take out those who are not meant for us and continue to bring on those who are meant for us. Lord, we ask that everything that we are looking for, we can find within you, that we radiate love, we radiate confidence, we radiate and exude your power. We know that happiness is a choice, and with you, all things are possible. Fear not, saith the Lord. We know that your word will never come back void. Whatever it is that you are downloading in our souls, whether if it be in the dream space or the awakened space, Lord, if we are really operating in a 3D, show us who you are in the 3D capacity and allow us to use our minds in 5 and 6 and 7D realms higher than what we can fathom, because we know that we are still protected by you. And as we close this out, I ask that you guide us divinely. Allow us to really feel your presence as I can feel it now all around me. I close this out. Ashe.